Hi boys and girls, today we're going to review our capitalization and punctuation rules, so if you'll follow along with me on the screen. So our first rule says that official titles of people need to be capitalized. So family names, when they're used in place of or with a person's name, need to be capitalized. So if I were to say, today I went to the store with Grandma, I'm using Grandma as her name. And so because of that, Grandma should be capitalized. We also capitalize titles such as Mrs., Dr., along with their name. So Mrs. Smith, Dr. Taylor, President Franklin, and so on. The pronoun I, so anytime you use I by itself, it should always, always, always be capitalized, along with initials. So if you look at the example at the bottom, J.K. Rowling, the author, J.K. is not her name, it's her initials. But J and K are part of her name, so they are capitalized. All right, the first word and the last word of all important words should be capitalized in a proper noun. So if you look at the word the words the United States of America, the is not an important word, but because it's the beginning of this proper noun, it should be capitalized. So if you look at the word of, it's not at the beginning and it's not an important word, so that's why it is not capitalized. But all of the other words are because they're important. All right, rule 2. So geographical and specific places should be capitalized. So things like states, parks, lakes, and streets, but they have to be the name of them. So if I just said, I went to the lake today, lake would not be capitalized. But if I said I went to Lake Livingston, that would be capitalized because that's the name of the lake. Names of historical periods need to be capitalized. So for example, the Middle Ages or the Jurassic period or the Renaissance. All right, so now let's review punctuation. All right, so punctuation, we have 3 different types of punctuation that we use for 4 different ways. So this first one talks about if you were just to make a statement. So if I said, the dog ran across the street, that's just a statement. So I would end it with a period. If I said, please sit down, I'm telling you to do something, I'm commanding you to do something, and that's also ending with a period. If I were to ask you a question, you would end that sentence with a question mark. And then finally, if I'm really excited about something, like if I said, wow, great job, then I would end that with an exclamation point. Okay, so now boys and girls, we are going to do some practice with some sentences. So I'm going to read a sentence and I want you to say in your head what you think needs to be capitalized. So Thanksgiving is always celebrated on the 4th Thursday of every November. So what do you think needs to be capitalized? That's right, the word Thanksgiving for 2 reasons. Thanksgiving is a holiday, but it's also at the beginning of a sentence. So Thanksgiving is always celebrated on the 4th. And now Thursday should be capitalized because it's the day of the week. Every November should also be capitalized because it is a month. All right, let's look at number 2. It says the Mississippi River runs north and south across America. So what do you think needs to be capitalized? And so the is already capitalized for us, but Mississippi River needs to be capitalized because it's the name of a river. If it just said the river runs north and south across America, then it wouldn't be capitalized. But since it has the name, it is capitalized. What about America? Is America capitalized? Yes, it is because it is the name of a country. All right, look at number 3. Next Tuesday, Helen is going to San Francisco, California with her family. So if you have somebody in the room with you, tell them what should be capitalized. All right, very good. So next Tuesday. So Tuesday should be capitalized because it's the day of the week. And Helen should also be capitalized because it's the name of a person. So Helen is going to San Francisco, California, which should also be capitalized because it is the name of a city and a state. Okay, very good. So now let's practice with some punctuation. So I'm going to read a sentence and I want you to tell whoever's in the room with you what you think that sentence should end with. All right, so the first sentence says, I enjoyed the movie. If you said period, you were correct. Very good. All right, let's look at the second sentence. Put the book on the table. All right, I'm telling you to do something, so how should I end that sentence? If you said period, you are correct. Let's look at the next sentence. Did you take out the trash? So did you notice something about my voice? Did it go up a little bit? So what do we end this with? If you said a question mark, you are correct. And finally, that was amazing. So what should I end this sentence with? If you said an exclamation point, you were correct. All right, boys and girls, so as you're doing your assignments this week, I hope that you will use these strategies and these rules that we have reviewed in the things that you do. Have a good day.